been 8 weeks. You've gone through 8 weeks of these daily prompts of writing, of meditating, and reflecting. And now we're getting into some of the things, some other things with recovery. Over the next week, we're going to be talking about some relationship steps and dynamics and mindsets to take on to continue to help build your momentum and your system. I mean, that's where a lot of this comes from. This last week we talked about accountability and building trust, and we're just going to continue those discussions going forward. And it does take time, it does take effort. But also, this last week, the idea of like justifying doing good things, justify taking care of yourself, of eating right, sleeping right, exercising, and taking care of this physical body, because that's part of what it needs to be well maintained if you're going to be taking on these challenges, and becoming the person that you want to be, of being vulnerable and open, and think through this last week of the different principles that you've done, and check yourself, being accountable to yourself of what have you actually done of this last week to kind of keep yourself moving forward. It's so easy after just a few days, few weeks to start feeling like you're plateauing. And what we want is to shift from just the recovery experience to this development experience, building the life that you want to have, building the person you want to be, and that being a lifelong journey, that you're going to be leaving this legacy of growth, of strength, of resilience, of bouncing back each time, of opening up to people and developing those bonds and connection through vulnerability, through being real and sincere. Continue to write these things down, reflecting over the past few weeks. Look over what you've written and see what things that you could do better now. Don't get on yourself for not being perfect again, but this idea of that effort, that perfect effort, every day of trying to do something new, trying to stretch yourself just a little bit. You don't have to be 100% the best of the best, but taking care of yourself and showing that you can do the reps, that you can do the exercise, it'll become easier and easier. And that's when things start to feel like they plateau. And that's when you take it up the next notch, the next level, and keep pushing. Be accountable. Think about the people you're accountable to, and share some of these things that you've been learning with them. Who have you shared this with? Who, getting rid of some of that sense of hypocrisy or that sense of imposter syndrome, and really tap down. These are things that are important to me, and I'm going to share them because they can be important and helpful to others. Write down these things. Think about today. Over the last week, what are some things that were helpful, not helpful? Over the last 8 weeks, what's been helpful and not helpful? And prepare yourself for this coming week where we're talking about relationships. And there will be some pretty nice things that you can share and talk about as you go.